Some places are breathtaking, others are death traps in disguise. Here are 5 tragic deaths that shows why the world's most dangerous locations earn their name. In 2006, David Sharp, a 34-year-old British mountaineer with a passion for adventure, set out on the ultimate challenge: to conquer Mount Everest, the world's highest peak. Unlike many climbers, David chose to climb alone. No large expedition, no Sherpa support, just his own determination and limited supplies. This was not his first attempt. 3 years earlier, in 2003, he had failed. But in 2006, he returned, more determined than ever. This time, he would climb from the Tibetan side, tracking the North Face route. It was harsher, more isolated, and known for its brutal weather conditions. Against all odds, David Sharp did reach the summit, a remarkable achievement. But on Everest, the real danger begins on the way down. At around 8,500 meters, David stopped to rest near Green Boots Cave. This place is infamous, named after the frozen body of a climber in bright neon green boots. A grim landmark. And there, David's own body began to fail him. The altitude, the lack of oxygen, the punishing cold. They left him too weak to continue, and he slipped into exhaustion. What makes David's story especially haunting is what happened next. More than 40 climbers passed by the spot where he sat, still alive, but in desperate need of help. Some assumed he was already dead. Others saw he was alive, but judged his situation hopeless, or feared a rescue would cost them their own lives. One of them, Mark Inglis, a double amputee from New Zealand, defended the decision not to intervene. He said it was simply too dangerous to attempt a rescue in the death zone. But his comments ignited outrage. As the news spread, the world reacted with shock. Was this indifference? Was it necessity? And what truly are a climber's responsibilities when another life hangs in the balance? Sir Edmund Hillary, the first man to summit Everest, condemned what had happened. He declared that no mountain, no summit was worth more than a human life. To him, the culture of climbing had lost its way. Others argued that Death Zone leaves no room for heroism. Above 8,000 meters, every step is survival, and helping another climber can be physically impossible. David Sharp's death became more than another Everest tragedy. It became a symbol on the thin line between ambition and morality. In the aftermath, the climbing community made changes. Supplemental oxygen became more widely used. Teams began preparing better for emergencies, and climbers were urged to prioritize safety and ethics alongside their summit dreams. Yet the memory of David Sharp lingers. It is a chilling reminder that Everest is not only a mountain of dreams and glory, but also one of harsh truths and unforgiving consequences. Its grandeur is matched only by its ruthless impartiality. Even the strongest will and purest passion may not be enough. David Sharp's story stands as a haunting testament to that reality. Among the great mysteries of exploration, one stands out: the disappearance of Colonel Percy Fawcett in the Amazon jungle, 1925, a case that continues to fascinate to this very day. Fawcett was one of the last great explorers of his era. Driven by an unyielding passion, he sought and fabled the lost city of Z. He believed it lay hidden deep in Brazil's unexplored wilderness. His conviction wasn't a wild fantasy. For years, he studied maps, historical texts, indigenous accounts, and fragments of archaeological evidence. They all pointed to something extraordinary: advanced societies once thriving in places thought uninhabitable. Determined to silence his doubters, Fawcett prepared for one final expedition, but he chose to go small, deliberately minimalist. Only his 21-year-old son Jack and Jack's friend Raleigh Rimmel joined him. The strategy was simple: travel light, keep a low profile, move faster, avoid hostility, and slip deeper into the jungle. Before leaving, Fawcett sent letters back to Britain. In them, he gave a chilling warning: if they did not return, no one should attempt to find them. Those letters would be their last communication. The final message came from a place called Dead Horse Camp. It was calm, even reassuring. The party reported they were pressing further into the wilderness. Then, silence. No more letters, no trace of their journey. And soon began a mystery that has endured for generations. For decades, speculation swirled. Did Fawcett and his companions fall victim to the Amazon's brutal environment? Were they killed by a hostile tribe? Or, the most tantalizing possibility, did they find the lost city and choose never to return? The disappearance drew countless searches into the jungle, but curiosity came at a tragic cost. More than 100 people are said to have lost their lives searching for Fawcett, or for Z. Fueled by the same obsession, new theories multiplied. Some believed Fawcett was killed by tribes who misunderstood his presence. Others argued he might have been absorbed into a local community, leaving his old life behind. And then came the wilder ideas: alien abduction, interdimensional portals, or even madness. Fawcett founding a secret jungle society of his own. Yet the story grows more compelling in the light of modern science. The lost city of Z remains elusive, but technology is rewriting the Amazon's history. LiDAR scans and satellite imagery now reveal vast ancient networks beneath the rainforest, cities, roads, complex societies that echo Fawcett's vision. Dismissed in his day as fantasy, his belief that the Amazon once supported thriving civilizations is gaining new respect. In the end, Percy Fawcett's journey was tragic, but his vision was ahead of its time, and his story endures. It lives on through films like The Lost City of Z, in documentaries, in books, and countless retellings. Still asking the same question: was Fawcett a visionary or delusional? Perhaps both. What cannot be denied is his legacy, a legacy that continues to inspire explorers, scientists, and storytellers to chase mysteries, to seek answers, and to honor the secrets still hidden in the world. The Amazon may have swallowed him whole, but his legend lives on. In June 2016, tragedy struck at Yellowstone National Park. A place known for its breathtaking beauty revealed its most dangerous side. Colin Scott, just 23 years old, visited the park with his sister Sable. Together, they wandered into the Norse Geyser Basin, one of Yellowstone's most treacherous thermal areas. Ignoring warning signs, they stepped off the designated path. They were looking for a place to try hot potting, bathing in the springs, an activity strictly forbidden, an activity that had claimed lives before. Sable recorded their exploration on her phone, footage that would later become part of the National Park Service investigation. The siblings ventured more than 200 yards into the restricted zone, the ground beneath them fragile, the air heavy with steam and sulfur. Then came the fatal moment. Colin leaned forward to test the water. The thin crust gave way beneath his feet, and in an instant, he fell into a boiling, acidic hot spring. These pools can reach over 200 degrees Fahrenheit. Scalding, acidic, a deadly mix of heat and chemicals disguised by calm, glassy surfaces. Colin had no chance. If these stories already have you gripping your seat, Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Rangers rushed to the scene after an emergency call. Through the rising steam, they briefly spotted Collins' remains in the pool. But violent storms and lightning forced them to abandon recovery. When they returned the next day, it was too late. The searing heat and corrosive acidity had dissolved Collins' body completely. There was nothing left to recover. Only his wallet and flip-flops, left at the edge of the spring, remained. Silent, haunting reminders of what had happened. Collins' story is not an isolated one. Since the late 1800s, Yellowstone has seen over 20 thermal-related deaths. Most occurred when visitors strayed from marked paths or ignored safety warnings. The boardwalks and trails exist for a reason. Beneath the fragile crust lies scalding water, just inches below the surface. One misstep can be fatal. Collins' death sparked a national conversation about safety in national parks. It underscored the importance of heeding warnings, respecting boundaries, and understanding geothermal hazards. Rangers do everything they can to prevent such tragedies, but too often, visitors underestimate the risk, or they believe they're more prepared than they really are. For Colin Scott, the pursuit of a unique experience ended in irreversible tragedy, a stark reminder that Yellowstone's beauty is powerful and unforgiving. Nature offers no second chances to those who underestimate her danger. If you've ever felt suffocated in a crowded space or anxious in a confined elevator, you can begin to imagine the dire situation John Edward Jones faced. A harrowing caving incident that would become a modern-day legend. It was the fall of 2009, Thanksgiving week. John, a 26-year-old medical student with a young family, set out on a caving trip. The destination? Nutty Putty Cave in Utah. The site was infamous for its tight squeezes and a history of trapping adventurers. Still, John felt ready. He was experienced and he knew the risk, but nothing could have prepared him for what lay ahead. Nutty Putty Cave is no ordinary cave. It is a maze of twisting passages and claustrophobic tunnels. Sections are ominously nicknamed the Birth Canal and the Big Slide. Around 8 p.m. on November 24th, John entered a section he thought he recognized, but in a fateful mistake, he slid into an unexplored, steeply angled crevice. Head first, he pushed his way down, only to discover it was a dead end. By then, it was too late. His body had become wedged, upside down, folded in half, and trapped. John was now stuck in a space barely wider than his shoulders, 100 feet underground, over 400 feet from the entrance. An immediate rescue call was made. Soon, more than 130 volunteers and emergency responders filled the site. They worked in shifts, lowering supplies and words of comfort, food, water, even a phone line so John could speak with his wife. Amazingly, his voice stayed calm, hopeful. He chatted, reassured, and clung to the belief that he would make it out. Rescuers rigged pulleys and ropes in a desperate attempt to free him. For a moment, it seemed to work. John shifted by a few inches. Then, disaster struck. A pulley system failed, and John slid deeper into the crevice. His situation grew even worse. Time became the enemy. Being upside down for so long caused blood to pool in his head and chest. His organs strained. Breathing grew harder. Rescuers pushed themselves to the limit, risking their own lives in the narrow passages. But the cave's unforgiving design turned every attempt against them. After 27 excruciating hours, John lost consciousness. Soon after, his heart gave out. The official cause? cardiac arrest brought on by his inverted position. What began as a family outing ended in tragedy. Authorities made a grim decision. The cave was far too dangerous to recover John's body. Instead, Nutty Putty Cave was filled with concrete, sealed forever. It became both a tomb and a memorial. At its entrance, a plaque bears John's name, a solemn reminder of the risk of adventure and of nature's power to humble even the most experienced. John's story spread worldwide. It forced rescue teams to re-examine their procedures. It made amateur cavers think twice before entering risky spaces, and it cemented his place in history. A haunting reminder that the line between thrill and tragedy is often razor thin. Michael Degree was a man consumed by his love for the ocean. His passion ran as deep as the waters he explored. As an underwater cinematographer, filmmaker, and ocean advocate, he was far more than just a cameraman. He was a driving force, someone who brought the ocean's secrets to the world. Degree's enthusiasm was contagious. His storytelling turned complex science into thrilling tales, making marine biology an adventure for audiences everywhere. But tragedy struck, and the ocean lover's life ended not beneath the waves, but in the skies above Australia. On February 4, 2012, at the age of 60, Michael Degree was in New South Wales. He was preparing for another groundbreaking project alongside Andrew Wright, the acclaimed filmmaker known for his work with James Cameron. The two men were scouting locations for a new deep-sea documentary, a project that promised stunning visuals and unforgettable stories. That morning, they boarded a Robinson R-44 helicopter at a small airfield near Nara. The aircraft lifted into the clear sky, but within moments, it veered sharply left. It spiraled out of control and crashed. The impact ignited a fireball. Both Degree and Wright were killed instantly. It seemed almost paradoxical. Degree, who had faced down sharks, survived treacherous dives, and navigated countless underwater dangers, met his end suddenly on dry land. The loss was felt deeply. Scientists, filmmakers, conservationists all paid tribute to a man whose boundless enthusiasm for the ocean had inspired countless others. Degree's work was never just about showcasing beauty. It was about sparking curiosity, empathy, and urgency. He was a passionate advocate for protecting marine ecosystems, a mission he spoke about powerfully in a TED Talk delivered just months before his passing. Colleagues remembered his dynamic energy, his warmth, and his ability to make people listen and care. Through breathtaking footage and captivating conference presentations, he opened the ocean's mysteries to the world. Through his lens, the sea became a realm of wonder and magic. The deaths of Degree and Wright were more than the loss of two filmmakers. It was a loss for the world. They were visionaries, men dedicated to understanding and safeguarding the natural world. Though their final journey was cut short, their legacy lives on, inspiring new generations of explorers, scientists, and storytellers. Degree's words still echo. I want people to love the ocean before it's too late. That mission remains as urgent as ever. And while the deep sea may seem dimmer without him, his impact endures in every documentary, every classroom discussion, and every young mind inspired to dive into the mysteries of the ocean. Click on the next video to see more shocking videos.